I guess nothing interesting is happening in the world of wrestling, huh? My goodness, man.
Unbelievable.
So me being the Vince McMahon fan on the panel, I gotta say that this is very upsetting because like there's a couple of interesting things we need to keep an eye on. According to Vince McMahon, he says that he got bad information. People who told him that he should have stepped down last
Mm,
summer. They said
mm.
that he said they told him that it wasn't a good look for the company. Go ahead and step down. But he's been listening to other people, and they said, well, just stick it out. It'll blow over. And then with the news of Dana White slapping his wife, it
Oh
kind of
wow.
swept it kind of swept the Vince McMahon sexual allegations under the rug. I think Vince McMahon is bad for the WWE right now because I don't think any 70, damn near 80-year-old man knows a thing about creative. Now, it's his company. So I'd be a hypocrite in the same vein to say, oh, you can't do anything with your company. It's his company. But as long as he stays out of the creative, then I'm fine. But based on Stephanie, 6 months ago, she was taking time off because she could, burnout and everything. But this was around the time all the allegations were coming up. So to me, it seems like she just didn't want anything to do with the company. So she was taking a leave of absence. But then when Vince retired suddenly, 5 weeks later, Stephanie comes back and assumes the co-chair position with Nick Khan. And now that Vince is back in power, Stephanie resigns, and now Vince is the majority. He sits in the big chair again.
Mm.
Coincidence? I think not.
Right. Right. Oh my God.
So yeah,
Cutthroat.
it's a
Cutthroat
mess,
ass
man.
business.
Vince never had confidence in Triple H. Triple H was kind of like that's why I honestly, and I said something to my boys earlier today. I said I wouldn't be surprised if I see Triple H in AEW by the end of the year. No, because I'm telling you, I think it's about to get ugly, man. Because Vince is too cutthroat, man. He is.
Right.
I'll say this. I think we have to like look like and it's kind of crazy to say it, but honestly, I think we got to look like past Vince. You know what I mean? Like if whoever takes over this company and whoever he sells it to, what choices are they going to make going forward for the vision of the company? I think that's more important than Vince getting like control back over, with creative or not. I think whoever he's going to sell this company to, how are they going to structure the overall plans of the company going forward? I think that's more important than Vince himself, to be honest with
Yeah, but the things that Vince McMahon are doing could make it where there ain't no company or a fragment of a company.
you. You're right, and that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it all depends on who he sells to and how they see the company going forward. You know what
And
I
you know,
mean? Like,
this is so ironic and funny to me because this sounds just like WCW in 2001 when they got sold. This sounds just like that scenario. And couldn't have happened to a better jackass than me. I mean, I can't stand Vince
So,
McMahon. I ain't even gonna sugarcoat that bastard.
so
He just
so WWE, they didn't come out right and say we're not selling to them. They just came out and said WWE has not been sold because
right.
the rumors were just going around crazy. Like people were sending me messages, "Oh, WWE got sold," and I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." I said it hadn't been sold yet. But then everybody on Twitter's freaking out because, oh, how could you sell it to the Saudis and stuff like that? I mean, the Saudis are giving you 8.6 billion reasons why you could sell it to them. But so Vince McMahon, from what I was reading, Vince McMahon stands to make about $3 billion
Mm.
if the deal goes through. The UFC sold for $4 billion. So the WWE can sell for twice as much, and he can make almost what the UFC sold for. The other
Wow.
suitors, are Disney, Comcast.
Of
You
course it
know,
would be
like
Disney.
yeah,
They got
yeah,
Star Wars, they got Marvel.
yeah,
Of course it would be
yeah.
Disney.
So, and you know what? I think if it's sold to Disney, I would have confidence because Disney doesn't like to fail. So they would put the giant behind it and start doing a lot of cool things. So here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm scared of. If if the Saudis were to buy this company, think about it. Think how can you have a Saudi boss in a company that's like that, where there's gay wrestlers,
All right.
there's Muslim wrestlers,
Oh yeah.
there's people that's absolutely speak out against the Saudi government. Sami Zayn is going to be thrown in the garbage. Sami Zayn cannot go into the country of Saudi Arabia right now. That's why
Wow.
whenever they go do the crown jewel pay-per-views, Sammy can't go. And for that reason, Kevin Owens refuses to go. So there's two of your biggest stars right now. Not to mention the women are gonna have to cover up. I mean,
Yep.
yeah, you got
Yep.
you got to look at this trickle effect here. Like this is much, because I know you said MD made a good point. He was like, well, it's not so much about Vince McMahon selling, but what's going to be the direction. I mean, because you could still leave Triple H in charge of creative, but what happens now? You have to tell the women to cover their heads, and you can't wear this, and you can't do that. Much less they may say the women just outright can't wrestle. I mean, like, yeah, we're talking about some major ass ramifications right now. I mean, and then again, like I say, look at your biggest star right now in Sami Zayn. I mean, it's a nightmare.
It's
This
just
is terrible, man. I mean,
but this it was terrible when WCW left. The only thing is that at least there was still a big company. So if WCW goes, there was still a big company. When WWF goes, there's no big company. I mean, you got your AEW, but they're so new. AEW started in 2019. That's not much history there, you know? So it's kind of weird what's happening. And it
this
might
is worse.
literally kill the industry in
Yeah,
totality.
that's
It
what I
will be.
think. This is worse than when WCW went out of business. This will be worse if he sells it again. If he sells it to the Saudis, because again, I think if he sells it to Disney, they'll change some things.
I don't.
Comcast,
Nope.
they'll
Nope.
change
I don't
some
believe
things.
that.
But
I don't believe that
what you
either. When it goes to Disney, and Star Wars fans know this very well. When it goes to Disney, Disney isn't worried. I mean, you think that, oh man, they got this quality stuff. They bring out these Pixar movies and there's such quality. No, that's Pixar making that quality. But like when they got Star Wars, what was the whole premise? We got to get a movie out there because we're standing to make a lot of money with that seventh Star Wars. And all they did was regurgitate the original Star Wars from 1977, beat for beat. You could play both films, and the both films are doing the same things at the same time. You know, so they didn't care about the product; they just cared about the results of having and owning that product. And over time, Star Wars fans started understanding, oh crap, this isn't really that great, you know. And it's only recently that they're slowly but surely they've been making strides here and there, but it's a far cry from what was originally envisioned. So that last trilogy of Star Wars films, episode 7, 8, and 9, uh people hate that. People hate it with a passion. And the WWE, if they were to be absorbed by Disney, it would be more the same. Like, let's just get product out there, and we're gonna be looking back and be like, man, sure wish we could get those days of like when Looney McMahon at 70 years old was messing up. Those will be better days than the days you're going to get with Disney. It's not just, I mean, that name, they had a lot of successes buying up certain properties and whatnot, like Marvel. Marvel, we want to give credit to Disney, but that's Kevin Feige that's putting together those Marvel films and having a direction and a vision. Without that guy, without those people, it doesn't happen. Nothing happens to the effect that you're thinking. So,
But do you think this? Okay, let's look at the potential buyers. So you got Disney,
yeah,
you got the Saudis, and then you have Comcast, which is a conglomerate, you're just a giant. So it's interesting though that you say you don't think Disney would be a good deal, because I just think of Disney and I'm like, man, Disney owns every damn thing.
and that's why it would be
Because
bad.
so you got Disney, you got the Saudis, and you have Comcast. Like, who would be better for the brand? Thinking
Probably
Comcast.
Comcast because they already have a rapport with WWE, with
Yeah, I was
NBC,
thinking
you know what I'm saying, and
Comcast.
the USA Network. So they already got a rapport. They understand, the metrics as far as like the show that they've been running for 30 years now on the USA Network. So they got a concept of what to do from a TV standpoint. You know what I mean?
So
Disney,
so let,
they can always do it, but they don't understand the product like Comcast does.
but okay, so now I got another question then. So we all agree that Comcast would be the best bet. Say they do sell to the Saudis. How long do you think before everybody just says fuck this company and they just go down into the ground and like it's not even watchable anymore?
I give it a year.
I
Man,
was thinking the same thing.
can you imagine the social backlash
I
if
don't think it would even be a year.
it's not plausible to me. I don't even see,
But
like,
they're
if you
catching
said,
hell on Twitter now.
yeah, it's not plausible, man. You gonna have to be I don't care if they will offer you $100 billion. If you sell the company, yeah, you'll be filthy rich, but your WWE will cease to exist
Yeah.
just
It's
off
Not
the
Vince
only
McMahon
that,
backlash
we're
but
alone.
talking about though.
but how much money is enough money? I mean, they're not
But that's
they're
what
not
that's
worried
my
about the
question.
next meal here.
That's my question, Venkat. Like, he's 74 years old
Right.
and he stands to make $3 billion if he sells it to the Saudis. Like, how if he was to get $2 billion from Comcast, you mean to tell me he's really gonna be hurting off of that extra billion? And if they sell the company, Stephanie's gonna get a couple hundred million because of all the stock she owns. So the company they're not gonna be hurting for money at all.
But they're not hurting now. They're not hurting
Yeah,
10
well,
years
yeah,
ago. They weren't
yeah, but
hurting 30 years ago. I mean, it's ridiculous that, like, money really, so it's not even about the money. It's more about the idea of having that money and the ego and all that bull that never gets anybody
Right.
forward. And
yeah,
while other
Vince.
people are struggling, they're doing this bullcrap posturing. It's like, what is the legacy? That's what we should be focused on here. But they're about, bravado and flexing and all this nonsense.
Let's not say there. Let's put it where it is. It's Vince, because
Well,
I think
Stephanie
Triple H.
Stephanie has a lot of that bullcrap Vince McMahon
Yeah,
in her, man.
no, but the older she got, she changed, which is why she wanted to step away when the allegations first came out. Yeah, back in the early 2000s, she was cutthroat like her dad. But now that she has 3 or 4 daughters and stuff like that, she's like, huh, maybe my dad isn't the greatest role model in the world. You know what I mean? So it's like, she has really, because we can't look at the character Stephanie and confuse her with the human being Stephanie. Like, I've never heard anything bad about her as a human being. As a character, like, everybody hates her, get off my TV type shit. But as the human being, everybody, this is 100% power play. I want to be Vince McMahon. Look at my grapefruits that he always talk about. I'm bigger than God. This is all this is, man. This is all this is. Vince doesn't give a shit. Vince doesn't give a shit about anything. Because just like Van Cat said earlier, if Vince really felt that way, Shane would have been running the company right now.
Yeah,
Shane
Yeah, Shane
McMahon
could have
should
been.
be
Yeah,
Shane McMahon should be running this company right now alongside Triple H and Stephanie, and we'd be in a much better
yeah,
position. But
I agree
no,
with that.
Vince McMahon wants to. Vince McMahon is Vince McMahon. He just is like everything. That was his whole thing. Oh, if they don't vote me back in as chairman of the board, I'm gonna veto any TV rights deal. That's what it was. It was like, oh, I'm going to veto the TV rights deal, so they won't be able to get a new deal without my okay. And the only way they can get my okay is I have to be the chairman of the board. If they want to do a sale, they can't do the sale because if I'm not the chairman, they can't. It's going to get vetoed. It's all about Vince, and I feel so bad saying this because I love that type of businessman. So I don't want to come off like a hypocrite right now, but I'm being. This is where you could call me emotional, Black Son. This is going to be the one time you could call me emotional because I'm just thinking about, I've been watching this shit for 35 years. My
Right.
daughter loves this shit, man. My daughter makes TikTok videos of her pretending to be a woman's WWE women's champion. And so for me to tell her, potentially tell her one day that that's it, it's
Yeah.
over. Like, we're not gonna watch AEW. Like, what the fuck? I'm not gonna watch that. It's like that's what I'm saying, man. Personally, for me, this is really bothering me, man, because I'm like, damn,
Whoa,
man,
whoa! You
what
just
am I
touched
gonna
on
do?
something.
You know what'll end up happening? I'll turn into Venkat. You see how WWE can have all this success, and he'll always be like, oh yeah, but it's not WCW. WCW is so much better. Can you imagine 10 years from now, some new company comes up, and I'm just like, man, it's just not WWE. Yeah, you know, you see Roman Reigns or somebody, you'd be like, yeah, but he was so much better when he was the undisputed WWE champion. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just too much right now. It's just, I don't know. I'm legit. I mean, I get it. It makes all the sense in the world business wise, but just as a fan, it's like if they were to tell me the Miami Dolphins are moving from Florida and moving to Texas or something.
The Arena Uncensored.